So we wanted experiences with bullying, and we did what we do here. We went to our listeners.
I am a lawyer, but please don't hold that against me. I think most people assume that most lawyers are bullies, and sometimes they're right.
I do software support for a large company. After 2 years in my position, my boss hired someone new to help me. Instead, that person became my bully.
I used to work as a copy consultant at Kinko's. Right after I started, the company unveiled the new uniform, big blue aprons emblazoned with the marketing slogan, "Express yourself." Yep, thousands of underpaid human beings across the world were bullied into wearing identical blue aprons. Self-expression at its finest.
Most lawyers who bully think they're doing their client a favor. But there's a fine line between being an advocate for your client and being a bully.
The customers at Kinko's, who were of course always right, bullied me constantly.
Over the years, I've been bullied by a bunch of attorneys.
My bully wanted to be the star of the office. He'd contradict me at every opportunity and always during meetings.
Before depositions, some lawyers will go into the conference room and raise their chairs as high as they will go, and then my client's chair as low as it will go. It's their way of making the witness feel vulnerable and inferior.
One customer argued with me about whether or not Kinko's sold gas.
He would take all the glory jobs, all the fun tasks.
Kinko's doesn't sell gas.
Then he'd make me do all the mundane tasks. He said that was all I was capable of doing. Pretty soon I started to believe him.
One customer claimed he was going to go scrape up enough money to buy a gun, come back, and shoot me.
I've had lawyers call me names and demean me personally, on the record, in order to gain the upper hand.
One night, a crazed MnDOT employee rushed in with the final proposal for the Hiawatha light rail system. He told me that if I couldn't make 15 copies of it in 5 minutes, there would be no light rail in the Twin Cities, and I would be personally responsible. Clearly, I succeeded. Thank you, one guy.
I don't think I've ever been a bully.
Here's the real sad truth of my story. Nobody cared.
Okay, so there was this one time I sort of bullied somebody. I was dealing with this really difficult client, and I had to get tough. It was right before I was giving my closing argument, and the jury was about to come back in, and my client started acting up.
After 3.5 years of being bullied at Kinko's, something inside me finally snapped.
So I told him, "Shut your pie hole."
I'd tell my boss, and she'd make some half-baked attempt to talk to him. Other people at work would be sympathetic, but they didn't speak up either. They didn't want to be the bully's next target.
Eventually, I realized that if the company wanted me to believe that the customer was always right, that meant I was always wrong. Suddenly, I had an overwhelming desire to express myself.
Shut your pie hole. I'm not proud of it, but it did get him to simmer down.
So I quit Kinko's and swore I would never wear a big blue apron again.
The attorneys that I respect the most, they always act above board, and they don't belittle people to help their clients. I aspire to do the same.
By complete happenstance, I was offered a job in another part of the company. Now I get to work from home. The only bully in my house is my dog Bandit, demanding that I let him outside.
That's Angie, Jennifer, and Joseph. Round of applause for them, if you would. Angie Williams is a software business analyst. Jennifer Ampolsky is a partner at the law firm of Mayer and Gear. Joseph Scrimshaw is a playwright and performer based here in the Twin Cities. More about him at joescrimshaw.com. You're listening to Minnesota Public Radio and In the Loop. I'm Jeff Horwich.